So let's talk about our perma ban on TikTok, which happened a couple months ago for our Tossing Salad podcast page. And our account on TikTok was, I think, a little over a year old. And we were working towards getting that built up. It wasn't a large account or anything, but I think we were fast approaching that 1,000 follower mark where it allows you, I think, to go live and all that good stuff. And really haven't had a lot of problems on TikTok for the Tossing Salad podcast. If you guys follow us or watch what we do, listen to what we do, very similar content that I post here, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, you name it. I try to repurpose a lot of the content, fit it in to where it kind of looks the best for each of the particular platforms. But if you've seen what we do here, what I'm trying to say is there's nothing that I'm doing on TikTok that you would say is really edgy or anything like that to where TikTok would have any reason to ban us. Not only ban us, perma-ban us. So this happened almost a couple months ago. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened just out of the blue. And when people say, I scour a little bit, I like Reddit for a lot of the subjects that I'm interested in, right? And one of them that I follow, I think, is something to do with TikTok in particular, but it also talks about other kind of social media platforms, YouTube especially, but Instagram, TikTok. And you always see on a daily basis people getting on there complaining about getting banned for no reason. YouTube banned me, TikTok banned me for no reason, Instagram banned me for no reason. Prior to getting banned myself, I would always read those, or at least the headlines, and skip past them because I'm like, I roll my eyes and I'm like, okay, sure you did. I'm sure you got banned for no reason. Could that happen? Of course. But my thought process was, statistically, that doesn't happen. You're doing something, probably gaming the system, buying followers, or your content is all stolen content. So I would always look at those people and say, well, you probably did something. It's not that you're just 100% innocent, right? Until it happened to me here on Tossing Salad Podcast. And leading up to this, like I said, I've never really had a lot of major issues with TikTok as the company itself with what I post. There's been a few times where they'll flag something and I immediately will go and appeal it, and then they turn right around and post the video back up. I think I'm at 100% on anything that got flagged for whatever reason via the algorithm. I would appeal it and it goes right back up. So again, not a big deal. I had one issue with somehow somebody brought drama to my account. So this was somebody that had commented on a completely just random post of mine, but because they were in a social media feud with somebody else who had like a gang of people, and all they did was just follow this person, and wherever they were to make a comment, they would descend on that account and just go after this person no matter what. And I got involved in a sense that it was brought to my comment section. I took notice of it. And I'm like, well, what's going on? So I started doing some research. I made some posts about it. And then that drew the fire from actually both sides because I was coming in from a middle perspective, trying to resolve it. I was trying to be the unk, right? That's the last time I'll ever do that. So I had somebody in particular in that squabble beef that was mass reporting all my stuff, and we got that taken care of. So that turned out fine. But no other major issues that I can remember, right? So a couple months ago, just kind of scrolling through TikTok as you do, right? Mindlessly just kind of flipping through, and the app kind of just blows up. Literally, it logged me out. And I was like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. So I immediately logged back in, and this is the message that comes up. Your account was permanently banned due to multiple violations of our community guidelines. Feedback, download your data, or dismiss. Those were my options. There was nothing for appeal or to appeal what happened. There was nothing for me to contact them. The feedback doesn't do anything. Download your data. I don't care about the data. And then dismiss. There was no way for me to contact TikTok on behalf of Tossing Salad Podcast to find out what's going on. So because I do have a few other TikTok accounts, one being my garden account and a couple other ones that I use for personal, for like cooking and just to kind of consume content that I'm interested in. I went to my biggest TikTok account that I have, that I own. It's my garden account, The Garden Voyeur. And it's got like 44,000 followers on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to contact TikTok through that account and say, hey, what's going on with my podcast account? That's the only way I could contact them. I think there were some website posts that said you could email them, but that you never really got any kind of response. And really, that was that's what most people would say, is that it falls on deaf ears there at TikTok. Even if you were to go through the app and report a problem or something, I think there's a part in your settings to where you can actually like send information if something's not working. But again, I couldn't do that from within Tossing Salad. I had to do it under The Garden Voyeur. So I did do that, and I did that once a week for several weeks in a row. Didn't hear anything up until just, I think this was maybe a couple weeks ago. And let's go ahead and take a look at that response that I got. And I was shocked to get this response, because I really felt like trying to contact them from another account, they're going to be like, well, how do we know you guys are the same account? Whatever, right? So I did get a response back, and you can see my message. The last one that I had sent to them was basically to the effect of, my podcast account on TikTok was banned a few weeks ago without notice or having done anything wrong. I've tried to contact several times with no responses. It's for Tossing Salad Podcast. And then I did get a response back, TikTok reply, which I was like, oh, wow. Thank you for your feedback. We'll contact you if more info is needed. And I had read a few accounts on Reddit to where people, those that actually got TikTok to respond to them after repeated sending them questions in this form and fashion, to where you basically spam them until they respond back to you. They were able to get their account reversed for whatever reason. And then there was a whole bunch that said that it didn't even matter. It just, nothing got changed. So the next day, it looks like here, if I'm looking at the timestamps correctly, and this is at the end of April, I get a reply back, and I'm still, to this day, I'm not sure if this is an actual person that is writing this or an automated response. But it says, hi there, thanks for contacting TikTok. We understand how important your account is to you. And when I read those first two sentences, I was like, okay, it's a long paragraph, right? Like when you applied to go to college somewhere or whatever, and you got a response back from that university in the mail, if it was a thick envelope, that's a good sign. If it was something thin, that meant they don't want you. So just reading those two sentences and then just kind of seeing that there's a lot of words in this paragraph, I was like, oh my God, I really felt like this was going to be a positive response back to me. After further review, your account will remain permanently banned due to a violation of our community guidelines policy. Please note that our community guidelines apply to both public and private content, as well as hashtags and links to third-party websites. For further information on your account violation, please reference our community guidelines. And then there's a little URL there, which doesn't tell me anything. It's essentially just basic rules. And then best, the TikTok team. And so I'm like, none of this tells, they keep referring me to read over the community guidelines. There's nothing that I read in there that I'm like, what did I do? Just tell me what I did. And in several of the messages that I had sent prior to the one where they responded to me, that's what I said. That's what I indicated. I said, look, if I did something wrong, just let me know what it was so I can get it corrected or taken down or whatever. But I don't know. And I think I was a good TikTok account. I was posting content almost regularly on the daily, just like I do now on Instagram and YouTube. I mean, I'm trying to put out there fun content. Again, it's nothing like super edgy or anything. It's just, it comes from trying to be fun and funny. So I don't know what it was that I violated, especially to the fact where I'm permanently banned. And if I've never really had a problem before, why is my one violation enough to permanently ban me? I don't know. So I responded right after I read it because I'm thinking, okay, well, now I have an open window of somebody, I think, helping me or at least on my case, right? So I respond back, thank you for the response, but the link provided is not clickable, and I still don't know what it is that I did that was against community guidelines, nor was there a warning or message of what was against the guidelines. Whatever it is, can I be allowed to fix or change once I know? And that's it. That's been the end of it, and nothing else. I've closed that chapter of TikTok for the Tossing Salad podcast. I've had people ask me, well, are you just going to start another account? And I'm like, no. One, because in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't know if TikTok is going to be here long enough, especially now that they either the Chinese government has to divest from ByteDance and all that political mumbo jumbo type stuff. So they've got their own issues. But at this point, I'm just like, and especially with just social media in general, my thing is, look, you can take whatever platform away. I don't care. Now, would it hurt me if it was my big one with, 45,000 followers? I would take notice for sure. But I don't think I would be that bothered. And quite frankly, right now, I kind of expect at some point to have another account just get banned for no reason, or for something to where it's triggered and you just lose it. But I can tell you with 100% honesty now to you guys that it doesn't bother me. I mean, I was putting in the work. Again, we were trying to get it all built up. I wanted to start incorporating that into our live sessions. But it's gone. And I really have no desire to re-up the Tossing Salad on TikTok. I thought about calling it TikTok or calling it some version of the Tossing Salad podcast. But it's been kind of nice not having to feed that platform because it's just extra work. Even though a lot of my content, I chop it up and it's all kind of the same. I'm not making content specifically for each of the platforms. At least, I mean, every once in a while I might, but it's kind of nice not having to worry about, okay, I make content and then I got to go to TikTok and then I got to go to Instagram and then I got to paste it to stories and then I got to go to Threads, I got to go to YouTube. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. If you're bought into whatever kind of content you're making, and we're doing it for like our show, it's a lot of time that you put into it. So right now I'm probably 99% sure that I'm not going to do a tossing salad on TikTok. Things could change if something were to happen to TikTok politically or something, to where they either have to change something and then the longevity and lifespan of TikTok looks like it's going to be here for longer, for a few years longer, I might consider it, because it is an opportunity to find more viewers and listeners to the content that I make for Tossing Salad, as well as cross promoting for anything else that we're kind of doing. I mean, right now I've got another show that I'm doing called Iller and Filthier. But I think as of this recording right now, 99% sure that I'm not going to follow up and try to build up another Tossing Salad account on TikTok. Do I have a little animosity towards TikTok? I mean, yeah, kind of, but not to where I feel like consumed, but I'm not like moping around or depressed. I know a lot of those posts that I see on Reddit, and the people like, I've got, 200,000 followers or whatever, and I don't know what to do. I was making money doing that. Well, I wasn't making shit. Maybe it would be different if we were bringing in some money on TikTok, but we weren't. But I'm not upset, really not depressed. I'm just like, I can live without it. And like I said, you could take away the other TikTok accounts that I have, or Instagram or YouTube, and I'd be like, okay, fine. Actually, I would take that as a sign to go maybe try to find something else to do. But I do enjoy making content for Tossing Salad, making content for Iller and Filthier, interacting with people. It is a form of kind of escape from the daily life, and it's a way for us to be a little creative and just do something kind of funny. It doesn't matter that there's not thousands of people watching it or seeing it or hearing it. Not really. I mean, usually if it connects with one person, and they, every once in a while you'll hear from that one person that they acknowledge it, they understand it, they totally get it. Then you're like, that's all you need, right? That's all you need. So that's the information I have from the perma ban on TikTok for the Tossing Salad podcast. All I can say is something was triggered, and good luck to anybody else that needs to get a hold of TikTok. If something happens to your account or you do have legitimate questions, good luck getting somebody to actually help you. But there it is. It can happen to anybody's account. And I do believe that if you get on the wrong side of like just even one person, they can flag your account. Essentially, like one person can ruin your account by mass reporting all of your content, or paying, and it's probably pretty cheap, paying for a company or whatever, or a group to mass report something. I've had that happen on Instagram. That's a whole nother story. That's within garden. That's with some petty people within the gardening community. But that's, again, another story. But it can happen to any one of you. It happened to me. Again, nothing that I can be like, oh yeah, I guess they finally caught me, or I guess they finally, are cracking down, or this or that. I mean, most of my content is all generated by me. we'll do some response videos, or where we'll duet or stitch and all that good stuff. But the majority of the stuff that we put on here is stuff that we create, so it's all like unique content, all in good faith and good humor. The intent is good. So I just wanted to report back to you guys and let you know. I know some of you have asked again, well, are you just going to start a new one? So I'm not, and it's fine. So if you have any questions, let me know. I figured doing a little short video and just kind of giving you all the details as to what happened and maybe what you can look out for yourself. If you have questions or you think you have a solution for me, maybe somebody comes across this and they're like, hey, Brian, I know somebody at TikTok that can help you out and get your account back. Let me know, I guess, right? But all right, we'll see you guys.